All right, everyone, welcome to the Ambassador Summit. Happy to have you all here today. Thank you so much for everyone for joining, participating. I love seeing Rohit and Azim already rocking the pullovers. Everyone's going to be getting those in the mail within the next couple of days, but thank you for everyone for joining. Definitely means a lot to me and to the team here, so we really appreciate it. So first and foremost, extremely excited to gather everyone here today. This is the first time we've had the opportunity to have all of our ambassadors really come together and collaborate. And first, want to start by thanking all of our ambassadors. To date, we have about 55 people within our program. And today we're lucky enough to have 28 members of our ambassador team join us to participate in this summit, which is awesome. So we have some other individuals on the call, some people from my BrookSource team, both from my intermediate team as well as from our national sales program that are also going to be collaborating with each and every one of you today. So very excited to have you all here. Big common theme for the summit today is that we're all coming
The
together for the
volume
first
never
time.
freaking works.
Everyone is an ambassador. We've worked with you all in different kind of capacities, whether it's we've placed you through the program or you
That's
just
so
joined,
frustrating. My audio output.
or you all are a part of this. You all are a part of this elite group of people within our company. So we appreciate you all joining for today. Another question I really want you guys to kind of start thinking of, if you have been engaged with us a lot, or maybe it's your first time, am I still relevant in this model? If not, how can I help us more today? How can you help more the BrookSource team today, or how can we help you more today to get you involved within and get you in front of some of our customers? So, in our breakout groups today, we're really going to be focusing in on trying to create different practice areas, really catered around all of your backgrounds, all of your skill sets, to really help uncover more opportunities for each and every one of you. So it's really, the goal is to be, how can we all work together to really make this a cohesive project and a cohesive program that we could all build out together. Just briefly going through the agenda for today. We're going to go into some content about BrookSource, go into some of our technology alliance partnerships, reiterate and go back into some of our compensation opportunities for you all. We're lucky enough to spotlight one of our first ambassadors, Richard Beaver. He's going to take the stage and talk to you all about his experience. Then we're going to be diving into some breakout groups, and then we'll be wrapping up. So it should be an awesome day. I'm very excited to be here, and thank you all for joining. So diving right into it, the evolution of our program. The program started back in June 2020. It has started out because we really created the program because we were at the time AWS, Microsoft, Salesforce partners. And with all of our partnerships, we're really seeing more and more opportunities that fell in line with these core technology areas. And with these opportunities, we wanted to see how could we leverage some people in our network, some experts that we've either placed with or worked with in the past, to really help us win these opportunities and really show to our customers that we're stepping outside of the staff aug game and really more into the consulting practice. So makes a big difference in the conversation when we bring the market experts to the table for our customers, because at the end of the day, we're a recruiting and sales based company, and we only know what we know, and we could learn about these areas, which we have, and we think we've done a pretty good job of it. But it's a lot different of a sell, and it's a lot different and more impactful for our customers when we have the subject matter experts like you guys all joining our customer calls. So when the program really first started, we were really just trying to gain traction. We were trying to get as many little wins as possible, get as many of these first advisors in front of our customers as possible. There wasn't really a ton of structure around it, to be completely transparent, and our sales team wasn't really confident in the sales. So that was when we first started, and now kind of moving into today. We currently have 8 ambassadors on our payroll and currently working for us and for our customers. So we've started to see a lot more success from placing different individuals in varying capacities, from some of those core technology partnerships to some other areas within within our scope. So with this, right now, this year, we were very excited. We were able to launch our pre-engagement compensation model. So we're able to now formally compensate all of you ambassadors for joining any conversations, for helping us out from an RFP standpoint, from really helping us kind of move along the sell and really make it a successful program. So we're very excited that we were able to really evolve into properly compensating you guys for the work that you're putting in, especially before we get you to become before we win the opportunities. Some of the ambassadors that we've had placed has really started to help us out by landing and expanding our services. They've been selling our services on behalf, identifying new opportunities for us, and it's been awesome to see the added revenue and added generation of business of what you guys have been able to kind of bring to the table for us, which we're very appreciative of as well. And our account executives at Brooksource, they're feeling so much more confident with their sell. They're bringing more tangible opportunities, more opportunities to the table for all of the ambassadors on this call. And they're setting the stage to make it more successful and more of a streamlined conversation. So it's been exciting to kind of see. Just this quarter alone, we've gotten in front of 25 different customers already. So it's been awesome to see just the extent of where our sales team has really kind of come and the growth of what they've seen, as well as for all the ambassadors, just the different opportunities that you guys have helped us move along conversations with and really kind of paint a picture of us in a different light to our customers. And lastly, we've really kind of expanded our skill sets of ambassadors in our network. I know when we started the program, it was in those 3 core tech alliance areas. Well, now we've expanded our tech partnerships to about 6, which you'll hear a little bit more about later, as well as we've expanded our skill sets outside of those technology partnerships. We have people that focus on diversity, equity, and inclusion. We have security-focused subject matter experts, data subject matter experts, and plenty of other different individuals that are really helping us expand our virtual bench of advisors like you all to really help out our customers, which has been great to see. And looking forward to the future, our goal is to make this a repeatable process. And we want this to be a repeatable sale that once we get you guys placed in front of customers, once we have a successful project, it's going to be making this go to the next customer and say, okay, now we just wrapped up with customer X, customer Y, we're ready to go to help you put this initiative into play. We want this to be a repeatable process for you all as well as for our sales team. We want to make practice areas that are all defined and run by you guys. That's what we're really going to be focusing in on in our breakouts today, is how we can really make a practice area catered to your guys' backgrounds, your guys' expertise, and how we can make it so that we can constantly be bringing in more opportunities for you and to be further helping out our customers with some of their gaps that they may be seeing. We'd love to have some of you attend some of our Brooksource conferences. Each year, we have a sales focus conference every January and a recruiting focus conference every August that we're going to be looking to be leveraging some of you guys to be a part of those conferences. Goal of those conferences is to be networking with more individuals within our company to see what we're rolling out, to see how we're selling, to see how we're positioning ourselves to best win more opportunities. It's a great opportunity for you guys to meet some of the people you've been dealing with on a day in and day out basis. I know we've been on Teams calls throughout the whole entire portion of this program. We'd love to start getting more face-to-face interaction. We really want you guys to be ingrained in our culture as well. That's coming to those conferences. That's joining us on some of our offices, local offices events, or I'm going to start be doing some more traveling where I'll be hopefully going to some markets where you guys are located. We'd love to take you out to dinner and really make you a part of our Brooksource culture as well. And then last, and one goal that we're definitely looking forward to down the line is hopefully being able to offer the opportunity to become a full-time employee of Brooksource. I know it's something that has been brought up with a couple of you guys. It's something that we're still looking into, and we still need to finalize a lot more before that becomes a reality. But we'd love to eventually get to the stage where we can have ambassadors become full-time employees of Brooksource and truly be ingrained in our whole entire sales process and whole culture in general. So I wanted to kind of go through an opportunity workflow. I know I've talked to all of you guys in different kind of capacities, but just to make sure we're all on the same page, I just want to go into the basic workflow of when we uncover opportunities and how we could be really leveraging you all and leveraging your backgrounds and what this kind of looks like. So it all starts when a Brooksource account executive will uncover an opportunity. They'll reach out to me. I'll be able to kind of further vet the opportunity, make sure it is the right time to plug in one of the advisors. And after kind of talking more through the specific opportunity, I'll reach out to each one of you to really say, hey, Jordan, this is the opportunity that we have with customer X. They're looking to do a data migration. Is this is all the information that we know? Is this something that you'd be able to assist us with? If everything sounds good from Jordan's perspective, then we'll be setting up an initial prep call between myself, Jordan, and the account team to really make sure that we're all on the same page going into that customer call and giving you the most details and the most information going into those calls to make it as successful as possible. Then that goes into the customer call. The BrookSource team will join you on that call. In that call, our goal is to really help identify further pain points of what our customers are seeing, and having you all come to the table by storytelling and questioning and really helping provide solutions for the customer in the call to really start getting them to see what you're doing from a high level perspective and how you're going to be able to go really help and change them for their initiatives that they have going on. Now, after those calls, we'll do a debrief with the BrookSource team. And from there, we'll be able to really hopefully craft up an SOW that'll stay. Jordan's going to be helping out customer X, and he's going to be working 10 hours a week. And here's the different deliverables that he's going to be accomplishing during that time. From there, we'll submit that over to the end customer. If everything looks good, then we'll be able to have you start advising. And then that's where the whole process of our program really initiates. But this is just the typical workflow of what we see. Obviously, not every opportunity is going to come into this exact workflow. Sometimes we have to be a little bit more flexible, and appreciate all of you advisors that have been flexible, because sometimes it doesn't go as according to plan as this. But this is our goal, and this is what we've been teaching our sales reps as well, is when to engage you, how to engage you, and at what point to really kind of bring you in. So next, we're going to have Jordan Stroza talk a little bit more about our service offerings and what we're really offering our customers from a high-level standpoint, and where you guys really fall into line when we are talking with our customers as well. So, Jordan, if you wouldn't mind going into our service offerings, that'd be great.
Yeah, absolutely, Michael. Thank you very much. Nice to meet, or good to see a lot of you again, and some of the faces that I recognize, and then also nice to meet a lot of you that are on the call as ambassadors. So thank you. I think we also, real quick, I want to thank Michael for not just putting this together, but really be the driving force behind this program. 2 years ago, he was in a different role for us, and he took a leap of faith to say, let me explore this. I believe in it. I think it's something that can help us grow, and I think it's something that can give opportunity to some of our best advisors and consultants that are out there. And what you guys have all been able to accomplish with him and with the others from the BrookSource team that are on the call has been truly remarkable already in these first couple of quarters. So, Michael, thank you for kind of spearheading this, putting this all together. I'm excited to get to know everybody more and continue to work together to figure out how we can do exactly that, work together further to help our customers together. So thank you, guys. Thank you, Michael. I did want to start with, you guys are obviously all known as ambassadors. We've branded the program that way. You guys, like you said, some of you have the swag on, we can see. That ambassador term for us, it is definitely something we want you to feel a part of. It's something that we're proud of. But what it ultimately is, it's a collection of advisors and consultants. And that's how we really pitch all of you to our customers whenever we're entering a conversation. That's how we're describing your services. You're advising them, you're consulting them on very specific niche areas of where your expertise is. And as you guys can see on this chart, that falls directly in what we call our professional services. So I will take a quick step back. We started as a staffing company. And so over the past 22 years, we've really been defining these different service areas and now how our customers truly recognize us. And professional services is the one you see at the bottom. All of you are acting as advisors and consultants, but we just want to make sure you guys also understand the capabilities we have on the back end to be able to continue to not just win these projects, but also resource them, find teams to build around you, and win larger scale opportunities. This is something our sales force is selling on a national level when it comes to both your services as advisors and consultants, but also the projects that you all plan to influence. So whether it's a migration or an implementation or an integration, or if it's some sort of methodology change, we can build the teams around you if we don't already have those resources in place. We also hope that by the end of this kind of summit today, that there might be a few of you on this call that also feel like you might be able to advise together, that you might have similar skill sets, or maybe you actually are a great complement skill set to somebody else on the call, where we can start to think more about projects that we should be going after, how we can get you in front of a customer to basically showcase that. So I just wanted to highlight that you guys are our professional services arm. We can put together teams as a service, what we call the doers, to basically execute the strategy that you all envision, whether it's a proof of concept or some sort of framework that you're initially advising and consulting on. And we're also here at the end of project engagement to offer long-term ongoing support and kind of a maintenance or an optimization state for our customers. So some of you guys, when you probably first worked with Brooksource, or you even thought about us as a company, you may have not have thought of us as traditional professional services. I just want you guys to understand it is about a third of our business. We are going out there advising, thanks to a lot of you. We're winning larger scale projects. We're putting together teams. We are still a limited liability company. So that does mean we do not take on full milestones or deliverables, but we will take on some that we feel comfortable with and that our legal does approve. And so we may even work with some of you guys on when we're looking at an RFP or an SOW, what we feel comfortable with, and what we can kind of guarantee to a customer. But we're also hoping by having a better relationship with all of you, we start to feel more comfortable setting in stone what our milestones and deliverables could be, especially if we're talking about like a proof of concept, something that's very tangible, something we can come in, really grasp and really deliver for a customer in even a shorter period of time. So I first wanted to highlight that. We're here to continue to build around all of you, current state, and Michael highlighted some of the things we hope to do long-term. We have a couple hundred, I think we have around 300 recruiters across the country that can go out there and find the doers if we were to win larger scale projects and initiatives. And we employ around 12,000 consultants a year, just to give you guys an idea of our size and scope to be able to handle larger initiatives. So that's professional services. That's where you guys live. That's how we pitch it to a customer. That's how we sell it internally. For the rest of you, or I should say for our other service lines, we also want you guys to be aware of those in case you're in front of a customer and you hear of opportunities that are outside of the current project you're on, or maybe it doesn't require a professional service. So that first one that I talked about is really that staff augmentation component, that experience-driven staffing. So if you're ever at a customer and they're looking for more of a right to hire model, maybe a resource to come in and they want to try them out before they buy them and convert them to a full-time employee. It could be any level skill set, any technology or functional skill set. We can go out there and essentially offer that in a contract to hire or a right to hire to a customer, your traditional staff augmentation. We also offer what is a little bit more unique to us is our Elevate program. And I know you guys have gone through training, but this is truly a differentiator for us. It is really where we are upskilling or reskilling for specific pipelines of talent. So we focus on emerging, we focus on diverse talent, we focus on veterans, and we focus on reskilling individuals on specific technologies. So it may be a technology that you have expertise within, let's say Google Cloud Platform. We actually go out there, we find the right attitude and aptitude in those pipelines. And then we really train those individuals over a 12-month period while they are in a consulting, typically a right to hire role within our customers. So when you think about Elevate, a lot of times our ambassadors can also act as an advisor or maybe even a subject matter expert. We call it sometimes an anchor as well to help really, I would say, give those individuals, if they're on the same project as you, a little bit of a mentor or subject matter expert around the technologies they're working together with. And a lot of times they can be brought on for projects, but most of our customers use it more in that ongoing support model where they're looking for a long-term solution and looking to keep intellectual property in-house long-term. So I just want to be clear, like if you guys are seeing there's different resourcing struggles at a customer, this is what we fully offer. We are split around a third, I would say, in terms of what our revenue is based on. We're really about a third in all three of these areas. So about a third of our consultants are Elevate graduates or people going through that program. About a third are basic staff aug, traditionally in your right to hire model, just one-off positions. And then a third of our resources are advisory consulting teams, project teams, product teams, or kind of that ongoing long-term maintenance for our customers' overall professional services. So if you guys ever have questions on these, we have more content for you. I know we went through it already in the ambassador training, but we're here to help you understand it better and just to make sure you understand where you fit into our overall service offerings. So, and if you guys have any questions at all, like feel free to just throw them in the chat. I've got the chat up that we can always address those as well. Okay, so we are actually we're blessed to have a few of our what I would describe our industry focus area leaders on the call. These are really our vertically aligned subject matter experts, and these are the areas that we focus those on. So we have a few on the call that you guys might be able to talk to in a little bit, but ultimately, these are the core areas, I should say groups of accounts that we are focused on from an industry standpoint. These are typically our best customers where we have the most consultants, or we feel most comfortable continuing with the go-to-market strategy, targeting new customers within that same industry. So if you ever go to our website, the one thing that you will notice is that you can search each one of these and you can actually see what we believe is our current focus and I would say practice area that we are trying to go out and obtain additional business within each of these. We're also looking for you guys to advise us on that. If we are not capturing what you feel like you are doing well, and if it's specifically aligned to one of these industries, definitely speak up today in your breakouts. We want to know about that. We want to make sure that we're articulating it and we're building around that and emphasizing that. So these are our core ones. We have financial services. We also have banking as well. We have healthcare. We have health insurance. We have telecom, media and entertainment, retail. We just recently launched consumer goods. We also have public sector. So we do a ton of work within the government. That's both federal, state, and local. The majority of our public sector strategy is actually in a prime sub capacity. So a lot of times we're working with the largest system integrators across the country on federal and state owned projects. We have life sciences, which is medical devices for us, along with pharmaceuticals, and we have energy as well. So a lot of these people will be on the call today. If you dive into each one of these, they may have similar practice areas. So a great example of that would be cloud. I would say cloud migration in general is likely something we say that we do and we do well across most verticals. But then if you get into a very specific, let's say financial services, you may see that we focus in on like an FIS product, maybe some sort of mobile banking platform integration or support. It may be very, very specific to that one financial or banking type customers. And ultimately, that's what we're looking to hopefully dive in with you guys today to see if we're articulating that correctly across our vertical industries.
Awesome. Thanks, Jordan. Appreciate it. Next topic that we're going to go into is going to be our technology alliance areas. We're Microsoft Gold partners, AWS Select partners, Salesforce, Tableau, Google Cloud, and Snowflake. And we're going to have Mike Murphy. He's our technology alliance director. He's going to be kind of going through each of these different partnerships, as well as kind of some of our goals around each of them and how we can kind of hopefully have you guys help us build some of these partnerships as well. So Mike, if you want to, the floor is yours, man.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. Excited to be here with everyone. Honestly, these partnerships don't get any better. They don't evolve without the ambassadors. So I'll go ahead and echo what Michael and Jordan have already said is thank you. We can't be more grateful to have you on this call. But you may be sitting there asking yourself, okay, Mike, this is great. Why does Brooksource have these technologies? Well, obviously, if you look at something like cloud, we know Microsoft, AWS, and GCP are pretty much your three contenders. So we really wanted to lean into those from a competitive advantage. It's also where all of our competitors are focused. We've been doing this for 22 years and we have a pretty large client portfolio as well. And every single engagement that we go to at a large enterprise client usually has more than just one of these. So we do want to have somewhat of a vendor agnostic approach, but then we specialize that with all of you on this call. So I would say we're spending a lot of time, at least between now and the rest of this year, within Microsoft and AWS. The reason being is that I'm growing my team. We see those two cloud partners pretty much everywhere we go. So I'm going to be bringing in 2 members to really drive those practices and continue to align with folks like yourself, maybe even have conversations specifically about where you think you really specialize in. And we're going to dive into that a little bit more in the workshops. But as you can see, Microsoft partners right now, Michael said that we're gold. Microsoft is changing that to designation areas. So for those of my Microsoft consultants on the call today, you're probably familiar with things like Modern Workplace. That's how Microsoft categorizes things like O365, SharePoint, OneDrive. But they're taking the 18 competencies that they once offered, and they're breaking that down into now 5 designations. And we get there through a lot of that is by linking certifications that a lot of you have. And we've been successful doing that so far. But one thing I also do want to add that we can have as a sidebar conversation you can connect with Michael about is if there are certifications within these particular alliance partnerships that we have that you want to go after, let us know. We'll pay for that. We'll help you. We'll get you whatever you need. Ultimately, at the end of the day, we'd love all you guys to have certifications in the areas that you feel strongly about. So Salesforce is also another big one from a CRM perspective. There's probably 10 or 12 like major CRMs out there, but obviously we know Microsoft Dynamics is one of them, and then Salesforce is the number 1. So we want to put a lot of time and emphasis on that. We're pretty new in that partnership. Jordan mentioned our Elevate program. We do really well in that space, but with this group here today, our senior resources, our advisors and consultants, we really want to start tackling projects where we're actually running installs and implementations and doing like CRM consolidations into Salesforce. So we have a lot of growth on that one, but we're really excited. This team, there's a huge team of us actually going to Dreamforce next week to learn a little bit more about where that partnership is headed for us. And obviously, those of you who know the Salesforce tech stack, Tableau is part of that from a data visualization standpoint. So we've got some momentum going there. We just went over our verticals. I'd say from a Tableau perspective, retail and CPG verticals are lighting that partnership on fire for us. We have a very laser focused approach there. And then next, Snowflake, for those of you who are in the data world, Snowflake is lighting on fire as well. Everyone seems to go to that tool. Their sales teams are very good at pitching that product. It's a very sexy product that is unique because it lays across all the 3 major cloud platforms. It's vendor agnostic in itself. So we see a lot of customers starting to do that. And I personally have been involved in a few Snowflake opportunities with some ambassadors on this call today. And I'm really excited about where that partnership is headed. But what's the one common theme among all of these partnerships, other than being super popular in the market and almost all of our customers are purchasing one or the other or multiple of them, is that through our partnerships, they oftentimes will bring us funding to close on larger deals. And that's what we want to do for this team, and to have this team, the ambassador team I'm referring to, run those projects. So there are additional benefits. And you may see me on some of these prep calls before you guys go into clients to be able to speak to some of those benefits. So I won't get into all of them today because each of them have kind of their own nuance to them. But a lot of them are additional training. So I mentioned certifications. We have the funding. There's also instances where if we win a Microsoft project, for example, we want to make sure that we connect you with the Microsoft team that services that client so that you have additional support as you run through that project. Everyone's successful, right? So most of these partnerships, as you know, they don't view us as competitors. Their biggest thing is how can we help Brooksource? How can we help your ambassadors, your advisors to be successful on this? Because if your team's successful, we win as well. Obviously, it's a win-win situation. So this is where we're starting. We're going to add to this probably things like SAP and Oracle are going to be added to this. Jordan mentioned FIS. There's some other partnerships that are very specific from a vertical standpoint. So we're going to be adding to this, but these are pretty much our main 6 that we don't want to go 6 miles wide and 2 inches deep on these. We want to stay very narrow focused, and we want to go 6 miles deep into each one of them. So you'll hear from me and another team member on the call today. His name is Matt, but you may get some emails from him regarding some of those certifications, because again, certifications is what a lot of these partnerships want to see outside of successful projects. So thanks for letting me rant. I'm super excited about it, and hopefully we're going to be seeing a lot more of these in the future for you.
Thanks, Murph. Appreciate it. And Yep. To Mike and Jordan's points here, these are all what's kind of going on our back end. This is what we're selling to our customers. This is where we're really trying to leverage our service offerings, our partnerships, and then how we can kind of really leverage each of you guys for these different spaces. So, great overview. Definitely appreciate it. So I'm going to kind of dive into different areas of how you can kind of earn compensation for helping us out with all these deals. I know we kind of touched on this before. We rolled this out back in beginning of Q2 that we're able to go pay from a pre-engagement pricing perspective. But since we have a majority of the advisors on the call here today, I figured it'd be good to kind of have a little refresher just so everyone's on the same page for how you can all be compensated for assisting us with these opportunities. So it starts in the pre-engagement side of things. This will be anytime you help us out with joining any initial calls, the discovery calls, or joining any of our internal vertical teams, some of those different areas that Jordan had touched on a couple slides back. If you join any of those vertical calls to help us better learn about you and your background, as well as learn more about the product or technology that you're overseeing, we'll be able to get you compensated for helping us out by continuing that education for us internally so that we can really showcase that externally with our customers. So you also have the opportunity to really help us out with a written and verbal outreach to some of our clients. If you really want to be that ingrained within our sales process, we'd be more than happy to give you some clients or contacts to really reach out to help try to set meetings for ourselves as well as for you guys to identify some gaps that maybe some of our customers may have. And then it goes into those discovery calls that we'll get set up. That's going to be anytime it's the initial meeting with a customer to really understand what are their pain points, what are their projects that they're going through, and how we could leverage your background. It's joining those discovery calls that will hopefully lead to us progressing some more complex opportunities. And this could be helping us out by any follow-ups, creating PowerPoint decks, helping us by sending over additional data or additional information to our customers, or joining some other conversations with them too. So anytime you're going to be in front of one of our customers, we're going to be compensating you. And all these prices that you see here are all going to be standard across the board for all the ambassadors. So everyone's getting compensated the same on the first part of the pre-engagement side of things. So if you are helping us out, we will be compensating you for all those activities. And then the big one is going to be number 5 on our list here is going to be RFP supports. This could be helping us out with RFP responses, joining us on presentations, really helping us with the proposals that we're laying out to submit to our customers. So we're going to be compensating you for helping push these along, and this is going to be where the real bread and butter is this is the final product that we're sending over to our customers. So obviously this is going to be a lot of work on the back end for you guys to help us out with creating the solution. We'll help you make it look pretty. We'll help you add in all the gaps and different ways to kind of the proposal will kind of flow, but it's really going to be the blueprint and the roadmap and the deliverables that you guys are going to be doing is where we're going to be leaning on you for RFP support. And then our hope is that once we win these opportunities, they are a success. You can help us create some case studies, go-to-market strategy, and documentation around it. That's our way to kind of showcase what we have been doing in the past to our customers, so they have an understanding of what we've done and how we could really assist them moving forward. All of these are going to be paid out on a monthly cadence. So at the end of each month, I meet with our payroll rep and then go through all of the invoices or all the different areas where you've helped us out in the previous month, and then we'll be able to send you your payment from there. So that's the pre-engagement. And then the advisory and consulting expectations. This is when we've won the bid, we've won the SOW, they want to move forward with us and you as our advisor for this solution. And this is going to be typically you working anywhere from about maybe a bucket of 10 to 100 hours initially. And you're going to be really helping out on that part-time basis with that advising and consulting. So it is going to be whatever we put down in the SOW and whatever you're able to dedicate time for, we'll be able to, that'll be what you're going to be consulting and helping them out with. And then for compensation, we are paying 125% above this your standard consulting rate. So if your typical contracting rate is $100 an hour, well, anytime we place you in an advisory or consulting standpoint through the program, it is going to be paying you at $125 an hour. So it is that little extra buffer, just because we know it's a lot of schedule jumbling and really prioritizing of what you're going to be helping out with on the back end. So we want to make sure you're properly compensated for the consulting work that you do. And then if we do find some other opportunities for yourself that you are available to work 40 hours a week, we can be flexible from that standpoint. And we could try to find roles that would be 40 hours a week, and then that would be us compensating you at your standard hourly rate. So to kind of complete the circle here, it goes pre-engagement, the advising and consulting, and then our goal is to have you guys help us identify new opportunities for us to fill, our recruiters to fill. So this is going to be really broken down into 2 buckets. So once you are getting started up with the customer, once you understand what the projects are that they're going through, and you see what's really going on the back end, you're going to be able to have a much better understanding of how we could support them from a resourcing standpoint. We could always go to a customer and say, hey, customer X, I know you're going through a large AWS migration. We could help you place resources. Here's our guesstimate on it. But it's a lot different when you guys are in there and really taking a look under the hood, seeing what's going on the back end, and then providing our customers a catered resourcing strategy to what they're looking for. So it's really broken down into 2 different buckets of where you can earn compensation here. Is if you identify a staff augmentation resource, just a kind of a one-off resource, we'll be able to compensate you $250 per placement. That it does get paid out after the consultant's been on for 90 days, and we've been paid from our client. But for each staff aug individual or staff aug opening that you identify for us, we'll be able to compensate you $250. And then the big ticket item is going to be our professional services and Elevate projects that Jordan was referring to. So if you help us identify multiple resources or projects that are going to be falling in within the ProServe or the Elevate space, you'll be able to get 5% gross profit after the first 3 months of for the first 3 months of the project. That'll be paid out once we get paid for the customer as well. But it's just another added incentive for you all that once you are started up, and your projects, that you're looking for other ways that you can help out the customer from a resourcing standpoint, and we want to make sure you're properly compensated. So really kind of diving into this is a potential earning example here that I wanted to kind of showcase for you all. So this would be a very top of the road kind of example. This would be a very ideal scenario, but just kind of breaking it down just so you can see how you can earn a lot of compensation from helping us out from this advising and consulting piece. Starts in the pre-engagement side. You could join an initial vertical call. Let's say you join our energy vertical. You get to talk with the different team members over there. You get to see kind of what they're selling, what they're pitching, and how we can kind of really leverage you and your skill set. We'll be able to compensate you $250 for joining that. And then from that, let's say you struck a chord with one of the reps. They really wanted you to help them out with the campaign. They wanted to have you really start reaching out to some of their managers, some of their groups, some of their focus areas within, let's say, the data space. So then you end up getting 25 contacts, helping us out with the go-to-market campaign, and we'll be able to compensate you $125. From your outreach, from your joining that call, we've now got you in front of 5 different customers. You've joined 5 different discovery calls to really showcase to them, to help showcase how we can go support them from some of their project standpoint. So for those 5 calls, you'll get $625. Then from there, we had 3 individuals that followed up that were interested with what you had to bring to the table. And then we were able to go get you back in front of them to help try to close that deal. That's another $375 in your pocket. And then one of them went to a formalized RFP that got called out. You helped us with that. That's another $625 for you to help us get that RFP. And then we successfully won. You ended up getting placed. We at 3 different opportunities, and you helped us write some different post documentation after the win. So just from the pre-engagement side of things, in this example, you can earn upwards of about $2,400, which is awesome for just helping us get to the finish line. And then after we get over the finish line, we get the win. In this example here, let's say we landed all 3 of those opportunities. Well, in opportunity 1, you're working 20 hours with client A. Opportunity 2 is client B, you're working another 20 hours. And client C is opportunity number 3 for 10 hours. So based off of those 3 opportunities, and let's say your hourly rate is $125 an hour, well, then on a weekly basis for all 3 of those, you're going to be bringing in close to about $6,000 in money directly to your pocket. And then for the whole quarter, for 1 quarter of work, it's close to 80 grand. So just from right there, that's a very good chunk of change for you guys. And that's 3 different opportunities that you're really helping us move along from our sales perspective, adding us into more of that advising and consulting bucket for our customers. And then hopefully once you get once you are placed, you're helping us identify new projects. You identify one project team, 5-person team, and the 5% of the gross profit over 3 months is about $2,400 in your pocket, and then you help us identify another Elevate team with a different customer. That's $1,400. So just from this example here, potential quarterly earnings that you could earn upwards of about $85,000 a quarter, which is not bad for doing some part-time consulting and advising and helping us out from a pre-engagement as well as expanding our services too. So really just wanted to kind of show you a potential scenario of where you guys can kind of earn money and see how quickly it can kind of add up here. So moving over into our spotlight. So before we dive into the breakouts, I'm very excited to introduce Richard Beaver to you all. He was our first placed ambassador, and just a little background on Richard. He was a customer of ours for years, and since then he's moved into more of the consulting and advisory space. He's been very detrimental in our growth of our program. He helped me out kind of plan this ambassador summit here. He's also been placed with our customer Dollar General, as well as is currently placed with us at Johnson & Johnson through our program, and he's been very successful and with the work that he's done. He's one of our data subject matter experts, data gurus, and he's really here to talk to you all about his experience of working through the program and what's been successful, how he's seen the kind of program grow, and where he kind of could see how we can get more synergy amongst the ambassadors. So Richard, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Michael. That is an awfully big picture of me. I apologize for folks having to look at that on your screen. Yeah, like Michael was saying, I've been one of the early ambassadors. I'm a 1099, just like you guys are. Thank you very much. And from the beginning, when Michael was going through the bullets and the numbers and the opportunity, it wasn't about that for me. This was about, let's start with the part-time opportunity, work with other clients. The BrickSource is kind of interesting. Let's get going. I enjoy the data. I enjoy the work. I think a lot of you enjoy the work as well. So for me, it was about how can we help BrickSource grow the practice and enjoy doing some work in more of a part-time capacity at the beginning. So those early days kind of floated along, and we ultimately landed the first client, which is Dollar General, great retail client of BrickSource's, good people, 10 hours a week. It wasn't going to make me rich or anything, but it was a great initial opportunity to help out Rob and the guys on the retail side, and we did exactly that. Over time, what happened was that another engagement came along a few months later with Johnson & Johnson, a great pharma company. I had a little bit of healthcare background as well. Data transfers across all industries. It's kind of, ubiquitous. It doesn't really matter what industry you're in, data's data. So I started helping J&J, helping them define some product catalog stuff. Really interesting work, full-time work. It was great. Paid the bills, awesome. We were kind of learning as we were going with the ambassador program and kind of the mechanics. Working with Mike and folks on alliance opportunities and where other things were happening as well. Then J&J kind of ramped down, and then all of a sudden they announced they were spinning off their consumer division, and then they ramped up very hard and very aggressively. So I've been there for about a year now. Pretty much full time, and I'll tell you, it's very different a year later than it was at the beginning in my mindset, because when I first got there, it was part-time, let's do some data advisory stuff. Now it's the drug has been fully injected in the vein, which is back to that 40-hour-a-week billable opportunity, which is interesting. But I keep pulling back to Michael and going, hey, how can I help? How can I continue to help grow this practice beyond just what's in it for me is that weekly check, which is great. But I want to continue to do more, and I want to continue to figure out how this group can create again, something more than what it is today. Michael laid out what it was, what it is, what it's going to be. And I think we're going to all collectively participate in the what it's going to be. A session like this, I've run these in the past, and what's really great is that the second half of this is that when we get a chance to interact together, challenge each other, ask questions, get to know each other. A lot of times when we were on sales calls, and again, I've had two clients, but we probably, gosh, Michael, how many sales calls?
At least 15. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Same number, right? It's been a lot. So it was a lot of learning and a lot to get us from A to B while we're looking at how we get to C. So part of that success is only going to happen with the other 20 or so folks on this call that are all still got their 1099s and have their own unique perspectives on how this program can grow and suit their needs going forward, whether it's in a full-time role, a part-time role, whatever you need it to be. So I think, again, the second half of this conversation is going to be really the exciting part for us to get kind of the collective talking. I think you're seeing the evolution of a company here. I think what's really interesting is watching BrookSource as it continues to grow. Because a few years ago, I don't think we would have said 30%, 40% of the revenue was from services. And I think that is a shift that the company has identified that they want to continue to grow into, and they're going to leverage people like us to do that. I feel a lot of us are coming from a background where we've either been professionally consulted for years or we were part of a consulting organization in our past. So we can help bring the best of those things forward to this opportunity. That's really what I'm trying to do. Yeah, so I know we've got a couple more minutes. I'm happy to honestly answer any questions if anybody has anything about it. Kind of been my experience. I've been one of the fortunate ones. Quite honestly, I've put a lot of eggs in this basket at this point. So I'm probably on one end of the scale of putting a lot of energy into this and turning it around for an opportunity. But whether it's the next couple of minutes or afterwards, like I said, I'm certainly happy to chat one-on-one with folks or answer any questions anybody might have at this point. Cool.
All right. Well, thank you, Richard. And yes,
Certainly.
I'm sure some people will definitely take you up on that, offer. But it's been a pleasure working with you. It's been awesome to see the growth and how the program has kind of changed and how you've kind of seen the program change as well. So thank you for sharing those sentiments. Next, very excited. We're going to be going into our breakouts. These are going to be about 45-minute sessions that we're going to have all of you guys go into. I know I sent you all out emails with different group members, some different questions earlier this week. And they're all going to be run by one of the BrookSource reps that I've assigned to each of the groups. So we have a cloud breakout, data, general technologists, CRM, and digital transformation. So this is the first time I've used the breakout room function within Teams, so hopefully it does work. But I'll be able to just kind of assign everyone into their groups. You guys will be kind of going through the different questions, collaborating, having that open mind, similar to what Richard had said. But please just respect everyone's opinions and everyone's viewpoints. I know we all come from varying backgrounds and different walks of life in different areas, but please just be respectful. This is an awesome opportunity to really network and really help try to grow this program and practice out together. So I'm going to send you all out to the breakouts now, and then after the breakouts in about 45 minutes, I'll bring us all back together, and then we'll have we'll see some takeaways. I may call on one person from each group to give a major takeaway, but and then we'll close up from there. So I will send you all off to the groups now. Uh-oh. Come on.
Come on, teams.
It's the last few.
Let's have a good week here.
Let me see. Wait, why? We should all be in. Hold on.
Oh, I can actually just join my own room. I can see now on the side. If you hit rooms at the top, it'll open up a sidebar for anybody that's not in their room yet.
Okay.
You just hit join room. All right, cool.
Love it.
Got
it?
No,
It just gives me visibility. It won't let me join it.
correct.
Oh,
Same.
just kidding. Got it.
Wait, how do you do it? Oh, join room. Oh, Jordan, click the green bubble on the right.
it says open.
Click the open
Join room,
button
okay.
and then, yeah.
Oh, that was so abrupt.
I know.
I
got
finishing a thought. Michael,
I got like one last joke in, and then we were.
We timed ours
It was a good
perfectly.
punchline.
I was in the
Is
middle
it
of a
automatic
sentence.
switch?
Come on.
Yeah, we blew it on our end. That was my fault.
It's all right.
So everyone have a good time in the
yeah.
breakouts. Seemed like we had some good collaboration.
We're good.
Visual,
Yeah,
let's
it was
really got
excellent.
together for this call.
Where am I? Well, I guess let's hear some highlights. What cloud group? What was some big takeaway that you guys had from your guys' breakout? Do we have any volunteers?
Yeah, I mean, anyone from our team want to raise their hand and go? I've got, I would say that the biggest thing that I loved is when we opened up, everyone kind of talked about their X factor, and this is something that Brooksource has talked about, but every single one of the ambassadors in the cloud breakout were focused on the business solution and the outcome and what it means for the customer, regardless of whatever solution they're looking at. They all suggested starting at what does this do for the business? And I think, I was vulnerable and told them that's something that our sales team is trying to get used to and get accustomed to. Also got some really, really good feedback on our landing pages where, to speak transparently, they look kind of similar to our competitors. What we have listed out everyone can do, and what we were lacking is kind of from a customer advocacy point, how does Brooksource make it feel personal? And how can we walk a customer through that journey? How can we provide some use cases? So that was really good, that I really enjoyed hearing, and everyone got pretty transparent in terms of that feedback. And then lastly, unfortunately, we didn't get into we got halfway through our workshop talking about a Best Buy example, but Hamilton was on a roll there talking to us about some of the challenges of multi-cloud. And so we had some good chime-ins there, but we definitely ran out of time there. So.
And to add on to that, Mike, not only the challenges of multi-cloud, but the challenges of understanding the customer's wants, right? Oftentimes, I've had a few calls where we've had great discussions, but you walk away saying, well, what is it that they really want from us, right? When we start talking about integrations, right? We had some very broad, generic conversations about integrations, but we never really said what they want to integrate into in Google, right? So, without having some of those conversations right up front, it makes the follow-up a little more challenging. And customers, as you guys all know, they don't know what they want because they don't know what they don't know, right? But we have to be poignant in making sure that we're able to draw that out, and that's the challenge.
Yeah, well said.
Awesome. Yeah, sorry about the abruptness. I set the breakouts for 45, and then there's no turning back, and they just cut it right off in the middle. So that's a team's problem. Maybe we'll figure that one out on the next call. But sounds like Cloud had a good one. How about the CRM ERP group? Any major takeaways?
Yes. Hey, how's it going? All right. So I think first and foremost, Sudhakar Bora and he used to live in Pittsburgh, and he actually worked in PPG, the same building that I'm in today. So I thought that was first and foremost pretty awesome. He's a Steeler fan. I'm a Steeler fan. So we hit it off pretty well there. But no, we had a great conversation overall about ERP and CRM, in particular, Salesforce and Oracle. One of my major takeaways from a Salesforce perspective, we talked a lot about Salesforce Marketing Cloud, is that there's both the functional and the technical side. And so for us on our end, we have both the technical, the Brooksource side of the house to answer some of those questions, and then the Calculated Hire, which is our sister company that focuses more on the functional side. So I do think that's important. Probably when we talk about any implementation or integration, there's probably functional and technical aspects of those. And we have the capabilities to kind of find both of those things and to support those. And then we talked a lot about Oracle Cloud, or we also talked about Salesforce and how it's not necessarily vertical specific. Salesforce is utilized in a lot of different verticals. There's not one in particular that really stands out. Eddie, for example, did prefer banking because of the complexities with the data and the security around that. So just a preference there if anybody else works a lot within banking. And we talked a little bit about Oracle Cloud. So really how that is, I didn't realize this, but Oracle is, I obviously knew that Oracle was US based and it's used a lot for banking institutions, but SAP is more focused on manufacturing. So just that distinction in and of itself, I didn't realize that's where sometimes companies choose their ERPs is based on vertical alignment, which is pretty cool to see. And then I would say another thing that was probably pretty important is data. I know we had another group that was focused in on data, but whether we were talking about CRMs, we were talking about how do you get data from an ERP into Salesforce. And, obviously Salesforce has purchased MuleSoft specifically because of the functionality of MuleSoft in doing that. But data is just huge. Data is huge on ERP. Moving data was a major takeaway. So I do feel like there's probably a lot of collaboration between the two ambassadors on our call and probably with the data group in particular around projects around CRM and ERPs. Overall, it's a great group. We had a lot of fun. I don't know if anybody had anything to add.
Yeah, Jordan, this is Sudhakar. Yeah, I think you might already mention, the ERP implementations, right? A lot of big companies, PwC, EY, they take up these projects. Probably Brooksource has good opportunity to at least enter into that. Now you guys, we are big across the footprint. So yeah, probably next opportunity, if there is, probably grab that one.
Yeah, we talk a lot about how system integrators own a lot of these practices and the large opportunities. So how do we maybe in a prime sub capacity, or how do we complement the efforts in a direct to client capacity? So we got just some good ideas on how to build together to a larger future state and what we can do in the meantime to bring all of you into those engagements.
Awesome. Sounds like a good collaboration sesh. Data group. Any major takeaways, highlights?
Yeah, I can jump in here first, and obviously the rest of the group feel free to chime in if I forgot anything. But we looked at our landing pages for our data strategy and kind of where we're focusing from a practice areas perspective. And I think that what we quickly learned was to not focus so much on the tool, try to focus on more so what they're trying to solve with data. And I think that what we found out is that a lot of the reps and even myself were leading into conversations with, we're partners of Tableau, we're partners of Snowflake, when in reality, the tool itself is probably not as important as what they're actually trying to solve with data cleanliness, with data visualization. So it's really focusing more so on the people that are going to be interacting with the data, consuming the data, working with the data on a day-to-day perspective, and understanding their challenges from a people aspect before actually diving into the technology, the tool, the visualization, and organization that way. So I think that was obviously a very macro look at it, but Richard, Matt, Dylan, feel free to chime in too with some of the more specific examples.
Yeah, I think for me, it was also the recognition again that of the, it's that 200 salesperson strong, but again, a young force that need to be, educated, reminded, here's what it is, call us in early in the opportunity. In the sales cycle, let us help identify things. Again, if you start hearing the acronym soup and you go, whoops, let's make sure you can pull one of us in to help at least profile the opportunity. I've done that a couple of times, and again, don't be afraid to pick up that phone, whether it's the salesperson sitting there, one of the directors that are on the call saying, hey man, this sounds like a data thing. Let's get Rich on the call and let's just let him listen, put him in audit mode, and let's see what happens. I think that was another good point. And again, Jordan, we did talk a lot about CRM as well, and it was a data thing. So
there you go. That's awesome. Glad to hear the data group went well, and it seems like you guys had similar conversations to the CRM group. Matt, how'd the technologists, the general technologists do?
It was great. It was honestly kind of like the beginning of a joke. It was like a Windows 10 guy, a point of sale guy, and a ServiceNow guy walk into a bar. But we had an awesome conversation overall. And I think our largest theme was that the expertise of the gentleman is so widespread because of the nature of what they're over, right? We're talking infrastructure as a whole, or a custom ingrown built point of sale system and ServiceNow, that it doesn't necessarily have to be like one specific pain point within that realm to get them involved. And a lot of our ambassadors probably feel the same way. They're just excellent problem solvers, and they're great at even helping identify like what the root cause is. So don't be afraid to like don't wait to bring them in to know like here's the exact like pain point or problem. Like they can almost help uncover that too. So even getting them involved maybe even a step sooner than we traditionally would was great. But then just continuing to kind of spitball and think through like how Windows 11 might impact organizations as a whole and how they might hit a couple of these different areas was a great kind of topic that we unfortunately ran out a little bit of time to continue the discussions on. But anybody from the group, feel free to chime in as well.
It's Glenn, and I concur. I mean, it was a very good talk with a smaller group. For me, I got a lot out of just the time we had was kind of small, but good to start just collaborating, understanding, and just getting to know my peers. And so I thought it was very good. We talked a lot about overall thing, but I think even just like the X factor, how we can provide value and stuff was very good. So we touched some topics, but I thought it was very good conversation.
Awesome. Glad to hear it. And then last but not least, our digital transformation group. What were some of our takeaways?
Yeah, first and foremost, this is like something that I love talking about, mostly because it's just such an easy buzzword, but we talked about how that is just such a terrible buzzword in so many ways, because if you are just starting to say or use the word digital transformation, you are probably about 5 to 10 years behind your competition. And that is something that, we as our sales leadership on this call try to push out and try to share and try to really ensure that we're diving deeper into core areas of our lines of business to help our customers grow what they're doing from a digital perspective rather than digital transformation. We talked a lot about how, as we're getting into a new age, products, whether you are selling a car or you are selling a retail product, or in my space, when I work with health insurance companies, you're selling health insurance plans. Those might not be the sexiest things, but you are now starting to feel the products in a different way and starting to engage in customers in a different way. And as an organization, we've talked a lot about the total customer experience, or the TX experience, but really looking at things from the customer lens is going to be so critical as we continue to move forward. And that's, at the end of the day, that's what's going to be the primary revenue driver for a business and what's going to matter to the bottom line. So Lee or Craig, if any of you guys have anything to add on to that, I'd love to hear it.
Was having some technical difficulties getting myself off of mute. No, I think you covered all the main points, Alex, and I think we got to look at, as people are moving to digital transformation, right? Is what are the needs, what are we looking for, and why are we doing it, and what do we expect to get from it? So if it's similar. I think I heard someone reference in one of the other breakout groups, that journey, right? So part of the digital transformation is the customer journey as well, and understanding that and how it fits in to the ecosystem and the culture of that organization, both internally and externally for customers.
Awesome. Well, it seems like all the breakouts went seemingly well, and that we all had not enough time, which is a good thing, because that'll hopefully transition into us doing another get together virtually, maybe at some point next year, beginning part of Q1 or Q2. But I would definitely like to set up a kind of a follow up so we can kind of continue the conversations here, kind of continue our practice area build outs, and just continue the collaboration. I think I know I definitely enjoyed our group breakout. It seemed like everyone else did. So I'm looking forward to continuing to do these with everyone. And after we wrap up here, I'll probably send you guys out a survey next week, just asking for some feedback, good, bad, and different. Maybe some things you'd want to see more of, less of, or any other feedback will go a long way. So I'll be sending that out. And then to kind of keep the collaboration going, I did create up a LinkedIn group for all of the ambassadors. So I'll send you guys over the link for you guys to go join that group. Goal of the group would really just be for you guys to collaborate. If you guys want to continue the conversations, or if you guys want to continue talking through some of the different topics that you guys were going through, feel free to use that platform, as well as feel free to ping any of the other BrookSource members on the call here today. If you guys want to continue the conversations to hopefully help build out different areas where we can uncover opportunities for you. That's really all I had. I definitely just want to say some thank yous to the BrookSource team for joining, all the group breakout leaders. Thank you so much for leading those, and for Jordan for putting trust in me and faith in me for launching the summit here. Thanks, Richard, for speaking with everyone, and thank you to all the ambassadors for joining. This is an awesome experience. It's really cool to see how far we've come with the program since June 2020 to where we are to today. But I know we've seen some successes so far, but with everyone on this call, we're only going to continue to keep doing that. So just want to thank you, each and every one of you, for joining. This was an awesome experience, and appreciate everyone's insights. Thank you.
Nice. Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you, Michael.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks,
Thank you,
Michael.
everyone.
Thank you.